Welcome to Inner Strength, the YouTube channel that turns ordinary people into unstoppable forces of ambition, resilience, and unbreakable willpower. Inner Strength welcomes you today with explosive energy, fierce determination, and the kind of raw motivation that shakes you awake and refuses to let you settle. We believe hunger is not suffering, it is the spark of greatness. And here is one of the most powerful hooks you will ever hear, straight from the legend motivational speaker himself. You've got to be ENGRY. This is the story of a man named Marcus who started with nothing but that hunger burning inside him, and how Les Brown's famous concept, stay hungry, became the driving force that changed his entire destiny. Marcus was born in a small, forgotten neighborhood in Baltimore, Maryland, where dreams often died before they even had a chance to breathe. His mother raised him and his two younger sisters alone after their father walked out when Marcus was only 7. She worked double shifts as a cleaner in office buildings downtown, coming home exhausted, her hands cracked from harsh chemicals, yet somehow still finding the strength to smile and say, "We're gonna make it, baby. We always do." Money was never enough. Christmas presents were practical: socks, coats, school supplies. Vacations were myths told by classmates who went to Disney World, while Marcus stayed home watching the world through a cracked television screen. School wasn't an escape for him. It was just another place where he felt invisible. Teachers barely noticed him. He wasn't the worst student, but he wasn't the best either. Average grades, average effort, average everything. He played basketball in the park after school, dreaming of going pro one day, but deep down he knew talent alone wouldn't cut it. You need connections, older kids told him, or money for trainers, or luck. Marcus had none of those, so he drifted, graduating high school with no real plan, no college acceptance letters, no idea what came next. At 19, he took the first job he could find, stocking shelves overnight at a big box store. The pay was minimum wage. The hours were brutal, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., leaving him sleeping through daylight while the world moved on without him. His co-workers were mostly older men who had given up long ago, trading stories of what could have been over stale coffee in the break room. "This is it, kid," one of them said one night, clapping Marcus on the shoulder. "Get used to it." Those words hit like a punch to the gut. Marcus went home that morning, looked in the mirror, and asked himself a question that would change everything. Is this really it? Am I okay with this being my life forever? The answer was no. A loud, defiant, soul-shaking no. One random Tuesday night, or was it Wednesday? The days blurred together. He couldn't sleep after his shift. He picked up his phone and scrolled through YouTube, looking for anything to quiet the restlessness inside him. That's when he found a video titled, "Les Brown, You Gotta Be Hungry." He clicked it out of curiosity. 30 seconds in, Les Brown's booming voice filled his cheap earbuds. "If you want something bad enough, you'll find a way. But most people don't want it bad enough. You've got to be ENGRY." Marcus froze. He replayed it again. And again, something cracked open inside him. Tears came without warning. For the first time in years, he felt seen. That night, Marcus made a promise to himself. He opened a cheap spiral notebook and wrote in big, shaky letters across the first page, "I will stay ENGRY." He underlined it 3 times. He didn't know how he was going to change his life yet, but he knew one thing with absolute certainty: comfort was no longer an option. He started small, dangerously small, some would say. He quit the stocking job and took an even lower paying gig delivering food for an app. Long hours, bad tips, driving a beat up car that broke down constantly. But he chose it on purpose. "This pain will keep me hungry," he told himself every time the car overheated or a customer stiffed him. While delivering orders, he listened to Les Brown's speeches on repeat. The graveyard is the richest place on earth. Les warned, because it's filled with dreams that were never pursued. Marcus refused to let his dream die quietly. After shifts, when most people would collapse into bed, Marcus stayed up. He taught himself graphic design using free YouTube tutorials. His eyes burned from staring at the screen. His back ached from hunching over a tiny laptop on the kitchen table. But he kept going. He built a portfolio, one logo at a time, one flyer at a time, offering services for free at first just to get testimonials. "I'll design your menu for free if you let me use it in my portfolio," he told local restaurants. Some said yes. Some said no. Every no became fuel. Rejection became his daily bread. Clients ghosted him. Potential mentors ignored his emails. Friends laughed. You think you're going to make it as a designer with no degree?" His own mother worried. "Baby, maybe get a steady job with benefits." But Marcus remembered Les Brown's voice: "When life knocks you down, try to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up." He landed on his back a lot that first year. But he always looked up, painfully slowly. Things shifted. One restaurant owner loved his menu designs so much he recommended Marcus to a friend who owned a chain. That chain hired him for a small project, then another. Then they offered him freelance work that actually paid real money. For the first time, Marcus saw a glimpse of daylight. He moved out of his mother's cramped apartment into a tiny studio of his own. It smelled like old carpet and desperation, but it was his. He bought a better laptop. He enrolled in online courses. He networked on LinkedIn, sending cold messages that usually went unanswered. But every once in a while, someone replied. 2 years into the grind, Marcus landed a full-time remote job as a junior designer for a marketing agency in California. The salary was triple what he'd ever made before. He cried when he got the offer email. Not quiet tears, ugly, loud, grateful sobs on the floor of his studio. He called his mother first. "Ma, I got it. I really got it." She cried too. "I knew you would, baby. I always knew." But here's where most people stop the story, and where Marcus refused to stop. Success didn't make him comfortable. It made him hungrier. He saw coworkers at the agency who were talented but coasting, doing just enough to keep their jobs, collecting paychecks, counting down to Friday. Marcus outworked everyone. He volunteered for the hardest projects. He stayed late studying trends. He pitched bold ideas in meetings, even when his voice shook. Within 18 months, he was promoted to senior designer, then art director, then creative director. Each promotion came with more money, more responsibility, more pressure, but also more proof that hunger works. He started speaking at local colleges, sharing his story with students who looked just like he used to. Lost, uncertain, hungry, but not knowing how to channel it. Les Brown saved my mindset, he'd tell them. His words lit a fire under me, but I had to carry the torch every single day. Audiences connected. Phones came out to record him. Clips went viral on social media. Suddenly, event organizers were reaching out. "Can you speak at our conference? Will you keynote our summit?" Marcus, the kid from Baltimore who once stocked shelves at 3 a.m., was now on stages across the country. He launched his own design agency at age 30, built it from scratch again, hired a team, took risks, lost clients, won bigger ones, expanded into branding, video production, digital strategy. Revenue grew. The agency became known for bold, hungry work that got results. Marcus became known as the leader who never settled, who pushed his team not out of harshness, but out of belief. "I won't let you be average," he'd say in team meetings, "because I know what average feels like, and it's death by slow suffocation." Personal life transformed too. He met Jasmine, a fierce entrepreneur running her own fitness brand, at a networking event in Atlanta. She challenged him from day one. You talk about staying hungry," she said on their first date. "Prove it." They became partners in every sense. pushing each other, celebrating wins, holding each other accountable during losses. They married in a simple ceremony surrounded by family and the team that had become family. Their daughter, Legacy, was born 2 years later. Marcus held her tiny hand in the hospital and whispered, "You're going to learn what hunger really means. Baby girl, not lack, desire." Setbacks still came, big ones. A major client pulled out unexpectedly, taking 40% of revenue with them. The agency nearly folded. Team members panicked. Marcus gathered everyone in the office and played a clip of Les Brown. "When you get knocked down, and you will, you've got two choices: stay down or get back up hungrier than ever." They chose hunger. They pivoted. They innovated. They called. They worked weekends. 6 months later, the agency was stronger than before. Marcus wrote a book titled Stay Hungry: How Les Brown's Words Built an Empire from Nothing. It became a bestseller. He launched a podcast interviewing other self-made leaders who embodied the same mindset. Millions listened. Young people wrote to him, "Your story gave me hope. I was ready to give up until I heard you speak. I wrote Stay Hungry on my wall just like you did." He built the InnerStrength Foundation, giving scholarships and mentorship to kids from neighborhoods like his. He went back to Baltimore often, speaking in the same schools he once felt invisible in. "I sat right where you're sitting," he'd tell them, "feeling like the world forgot me. But the world didn't forget you. You just haven't reminded it yet. Get hungry." At 40, Marcus stood on a massive stage in Los Angeles, keynoting a sold-out event of 10,000 people. The crowd chanted, "Stay hungry," as he walked off. Backstage, a young man approached him nervously. "Mr. Marcus, I'm from Baltimore too. I'm stocking shelves right now, but I want more. How do I start?" Marcus looked him in the eyes, the same way he once wished someone would look at him, and said, "Tonight, when you get home, write it down. I will stay hungry. Then tomorrow, do one thing that proves it. Then the next day, do it again." Hunger isn't a feeling. It's a decision you make every single morning. That young man walked away different, just like Marcus once did. Today, Marcus's agency employs hundreds. His net worth has more zeros than he ever imagined. He owns homes in multiple cities. He flies private when needed. But ask him what he's most proud of, and he won't mention money. He'll say, "I never lost the hunger. Not once. Les Brown gave me the words, but I lived them." Every day, he still listens to that same speech sometimes, late at night, when doubt creeps in. Les Brown's voice still booms, "You've gotten behind ROI." And Marcus smiles, whispers back, "I am Les. I still am." Because here's the truth Marcus learned the hard way, and the truth Les Brown preached with fire: talent gets attention, skill gets respect, but only hunger gets results. Only hunger turns impossible into done. Only hunger keeps you moving when everyone else stops. The world is full of talented people who never make it, full of smart people who settle, full of dreamers who wake up one day and realize life passed them by. Don't be one of them. Stay hungry. Stay hungry when it's hard. Stay hungry when it's lonely. Stay hungry when you win. Stay hungry when you lose. Stay hungry when no one believes. Stay hungry when everyone applauds. Because the moment you lose your hunger is the moment the game starts winning against you. Marcus's story isn't fairy tale magic. It's real life, punctuated by pain, persistence, and relentless desire. It's proof that where you start doesn't determine where you finish. Hunger does. So ask yourself right now, wherever you are you really hungry? Or are you just comfortable? The answer will shape your entire future. Thank you for joining InnerStrength on this life-changing journey. If this story ignited something inside you, if it reminded you why you must stay hungry, then don't let the fire die here. Hit that subscribe button right now. turn on notifications, smash the like button to let us know this hit home, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it today. Inner Strength is here every single day to fuel your ambition, strengthen your mindset, and keep your hunger alive. Stay connected, stay rising, and above all, stay hungry. We'll see you in the next one.